All right, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the June 16th, 2020 Zoom meeting of the Orangetown Planning and Zoning Commission. I am Commissioner Ozzie Parenti. Let me take a second to introduce who's on the meeting. We have Commissioners Tarenti, Cornell, Judy Smith, and Paul Kaplan. Zoning Enforcement Officer Jack Demirjian, Zoning Administrative Assistant Tammy Trantalis, and Hershey Hecht from the New Haven Hebrew Day School. He's here for item number 5 on our agenda this evening. So we have a pretty brief agenda. Let's get started with item number 1, which is a review of the minutes from the May 19th, 2020 meeting. Looks like all but Judy were in attendance for that meeting. So obviously Judy can't participate in the vote, but has everybody had a chance to look the minutes over?
Yes.
Tom, you're all set with them?
I just have one amendment. I think the second to last word on page 3 wants to be reconfiguring.
Okay, they are reconfiguring. All right. You see that, Tammy?
I don't have a copy in front of me, unfortunately.
Oh, all right. Well, last full paragraph on page 3, last line on the page. It says they are refiguring, should be they are reconfiguring.
Oh, okay, sure.
All right.
Yep.
Anything else, Tom?
That's it for me, Oz.
Kevin?
Nope, it's very straightforward.
All right, Judy, Paul? Oh, I'm sorry, not Judy, Paul.
No, I'm fine. I'm happy to make a motion to accept if you want.
Yeah, I'm fine. I have no changes to suggest either. So yes, Paul, please.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of the May 19th, 2020 Zoom meeting as amended.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion to approve the minutes by Commissioner Kaplan, seconded by Commissioner Tarenti. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
All right. Second item on the agenda is old business. I had a few things that I just wanted to mention, but it occurs to me, Jack, that there are probably things that you want to cover in your report. Like, I was going to ask about the status of permits issued for outdoor dining. Or were you going to cover that?
Yeah, I was.
All right, so,
if you'd rather me do that now, that's fine.
No, we'll wait till we get to your. The other thing I wanted to mention was illegal signs along the post road. I don't know if you have a follow up on that yet. So
Sure.
I have nothing then under old business. Does anybody else want to bring up anything under old business?
No,
Nope.
Tom, you're all set?
all set.
Okay. Then item 3 is new business. And again, this may be something that Jack is going to bring up a little bit in a minute. But we talked about the Airbnbs, and I was just wondering about the status of, the proposed amendment that, to our regs that would either, limit or prohibit Airbnbs. Do you have an update for us on that, Jack?
Sure. I'll start with the outdoor dining because that's what we were doing today. So the outdoor dining was originally designed and included a clause where as long as 50% or more capacity was allowed in the restaurant, the outdoor temporary permits would be null and void. They would no longer be effective, so everybody would obviously have to pull all their tables inside. Today, there was a decision, the Selectman's office and the town attorney, that we would allow an extension be granted onto these temporary permits. I believe the date given to me, I'm sorry, I should have written this down, was extended to the foreseeable future of September 9th. And we could, still obviously have authority and control if we do want to revoke them sooner than that. But we did grant an extension on. There's really only, I think, 4 restaurants in total who have actually been granted the temporary permit. So
Others have outdoor dining, but they already had a special.
correct. There's I think 2 or 3. Wooden Tap was one restaurant that did have outdoor dining. I believe, from what I understand, they're not planning on reopening. But I don't have confirmation of that, but something that I understand has been talked about. Should I move on to signs or any?
If anybody has any questions about
any?
dining?
I think the September 9th date was the date given on the governor's executive order.
Right.
That's, and if if you see a violation, you do have the authority to pull a permit, but unless we have a reason to, I think we should try to help them a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they left a lot of the decision-making for, hard details up to the municipalities. I was talking with the fire marshal and the sanitarian. We weren't sure how it was really going to work between 50% capacity and a permit allowing people to take up parking spaces with only a roughly drawn plan. But we decided, an extension was probably best given the circumstances. And because there's so few of them actually having the temporary permit, it's, really just a minimal, it's not a free-for-all for sure. So.
Okay.
Anything else for outdoor dining, or move on?
I'm all set.
All right. So the signage is the other part of the outdoor dining. Is there's a ton of signage out there now. A lot of it relating to COVID-19 and restaurants trying to market themselves for takeout and curbside pickup and things of that nature. That being said, I still have a running list of close to 25, 30 names now. I see more every day on the post road. I was hoping until maybe some of this blew over, so I wouldn't necessarily have to go into every single business and talk to them and give them the sign regulations. But if that's something that you all would, rather to, kind of speed this up and not wait until this blows over, I'm all for that. I have like I said, a large list compiled. So I was hoping, like I said, to wait till all this blows over so I didn't have to go in everywhere. But there are a lot of temporary signs now relating to COVID-19.
There must be some not related to COVID-19.
Oh,
right?
there are. Well, there's a ton of we're still open signs.
Oh, yeah.
Curbside pickup, takeout, sold here. It's a lot of signs relating to COVID-19 friendly activity.
So it sounds like we've been relatively relaxed on the enforcement during this last several months.
Right. Well, I'd say about a month ago is when I started compiling everything. I got a big list, and then everything, really picked up a notch. And I would say, like I said, a new one every day. There's more signs and everything out there. So if it's something that you would rather me do now and get started on, I have no problem with that.
Oz, is it okay if I just chime in for a little bit?
Of course.
Yeah. So, Bo used to say that, just as an aside, more is, less is more kind of a thing. But, most of the retailers always think that more is more, and to put additional signs on the post road. And it was always a tension because we try to be as strict as possible in some ways with our sign regulations that are in place. But during this several months, and certainly maybe for the summer, given the restrictions that the retailers are undergoing, I wouldn't mind personally if they, we continued the relaxed nature, even though it makes a little bit of a mess of the post road. But given the retailers really difficulties that they're facing and they have faced for the last couple of months, I think it's a small price to pay. But that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, Paul, I generally agree with that because, obviously this is an extraordinary circumstance.
Yeah.
I think the place to draw the line is, and it's usually why there are regulations on signage, is when they become either distracting or a sightline problem for
Certainly.
people in their cars.
Exactly.
So if Jack, I mean, again, this is just my opinion, but if you looked at it with an eye towards signs that are crowding the street right of way that impact views in and out of the driveway.
Understood.
Yeah.
Be as
Safety,
simple as
Mhm.
relocate back for a while. Sorry,
yeah, we
that's
can have
sort of,
a bias towards the safety issue signs first.
Mhm.
Sight
Yeah,
language.
it makes sense. Okay,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, I agree
we'll
with
revisit
Paul.
the issue maybe in a few months or whenever you guys think it's appropriate. At that point, we should give the retailers, 30 days notice to, let them know we're going to start the enforcement of the actual
For
laws,
sure.
to give them a chance to comply.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Jack, if you could pay attention to Kevin's comment and
Absolutely, yeah. If anything is
Anything you
obstructing
see there.
views or
Yeah.
crowding a space, then I'll be sure to say something about it.
yeah, I think we need to do that. But I
Mhm.
agree with Paul that we, in this in the foreseeable future, it makes sense to be a little more lenient on the sign.
Mhm.
Of course, it would be helpful if they put "Don't hit the patrons" up someplace, but that's just
Right. Okay. Anything else to report on, Jack?
Yeah, I'll touch on the Airbnbs quickly because you brought it up. I've been working a lot with Vinny on a couple residential issues. So unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to sit down with him and really go over what was proposed initially. So I'll be sure to do that next time I see him in the building. We've had a couple long-term issues that I'm finally trying to get closed off this week that kind of arose again. So I was a little tied up with that, but
Yeah.
for sure, for next meeting, I'll have an update on that.
Yeah, it'd be good if we could get a draft of some proposal. I think we're all sort of in agreement on what we want generally, but until we focus on some language, we won't be able to move it along,
Yeah, and I did speak with Paul about his draft and went over a little bit with him, and he gave me some notes on it, but I didn't get to sit down with Vinny and really solidify anything good. So for next time, I'll be sure to bring that.
Okay, sounds good.
Other than that, I'm done.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Jack? Or want to bring up anything else?
Nope.
No? Okay. And the only other item on our agenda this evening is a request by the New Haven Hebrew Day School to extend the time limit to use and occupy temporary classrooms. And the agenda notes that it will last extended to February 20th. Oh, extended from February 20th, 2018 to August 19th, 2020. So the extension in place now goes out to August 19th, 2020. Mr. Hecht, do you want to address the commission on it?
Sure. So these were actually put in a while back, these mobile classrooms down in one of our parking lots. They were at the time put in to accommodate the influx of students that we had. And they've been in use ever since. We have been working on plans on different options to secure more space for our students. We've looked at options on-site and off-site. We've seemed to narrow down the plans. We do have a plan that we are working on, but obviously the current circumstances really put a stop to pretty much all of that. And I think even without that, looking forward to the coming school year, we're looking into all the possibilities of how we can get the school building open. We know there are going to be lots of changes that are going to have to be made to the classroom setting. It's definitely not going to look the same way as it has always been. We envision that there probably will be limitations, how many students they will be able to have in a classroom at a time, together with obviously all the other, whether it is masks or other PPE that the staff will be required to wear or the students, we're not even sure. And so we definitely see a need for this coming school year, with or without the plans that we have to accommodate those extra students that we're currently using the mobile classrooms or the portable classrooms. We're definitely going to need extra classroom spaces. There's talks of possibly only having certain grades come in on certain days just to be able to, separate the kids and make the classroom sizes smaller. So obviously all space that we have in the building is probably going to be used next year. And we may even need more space. But the plans to accommodate those specific classes that were in those portable classrooms long-term have definitely come a long way. And we've finalized on a plan of where and what we want to do. Finally, pulling together the funds obviously is the tricky part, which we are currently working on.
Hey, Hershey, had they had issues or problems in terms of safety or citations during the last couple of years?
No, we have the regular inspections that we do together with the building, the fire marshal and such. And besides for maybe a fire extinguisher that was expired or something small like that, a quick fix, they've been up to par.
I will add quickly that I spoke to the building official and fire marshal asking if, essentially your question, if there were any problems or they had any issues. Neither of them had any comments.
They have no objection to the requested extension.
I just will say it is in our lower parking lot. We do talk to our neighbor who's next to the trailers regularly, and haven't heard anything from them as well on that side of where it is.
Okay.
Ozzy, we haven't had any complaints, I don't believe, at least none that have brought to our attention.
Not that I'm aware of.
Right.
Right. I mean, Jack huh?
I haven't heard a complaint. No.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, eventually we have to get to a more permanent
Sure.
situation. But again, this doesn't seem to me anyway to be the right time to insist on that.
It's certainly in our best interest as well to get our students back into a normal setting, and that is obviously what we're looking to get done as soon as possible, without question.
Right. Any further questions for Mr. Hecht?
How long is the extension request going to be for?
Good question.
It's a good question. Well, the last one I believe was that 2 years?
There have been 2 extensions so far, each of them extending it 2 years.
Okay.
So I take it then you're probably looking to go out to August 2022.
I mean, I would say, obviously, again, our goal is not to keep them out there. Our goal is to bring them in as soon as we can. I think that would just give us the time, especially with what's going on. Not sure how much is going to be able to get done in the foreseeable future, the immediate future. But yeah, if it's been that way, I would, if it's possible, if we can keep it to that.
Tom, what do you think?
I don't have any problem as you bring up, given the environment we're in.
Right.
I can't see putting the hammer down at this point.
No, definitely not. And it's just a question of the length of the extension. Do we want to look at this again in a year?
Well, the last extension appears to have been 18 months.
18 months.
It was February 28th, to August 20.
Yeah, it's not a full 2 years, right?
We can
Yes.
do another 18 months.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense to me. I don't know. Kevin, you agree?
Would that get them through 2 full school years?
No.
No.
It'll be right in the middle of another year, right? Because now it's it's June, so it'll be December.
Well, it's up in August.
I mean, does the August date make sense in light of the school year?
August.
In other words,
would be-
if you did have a more permanent, construction project, a more permanent situation, you would likely finish that up and have it ready for a school year, which would
Correct.
be September.
September is when we would start, correct?
So I guess the extension makes sense to an August timeframe.
Right, that would make sense.
Well, why don't we just make it, instead of trying to figure out the months, just make it till August 2022?
Yeah, or, August 1, 2022. I mean, I would suggest. All right, I mean, if everybody's in agreement with that, then somebody prepared to make a motion to approve?
I will make a motion that we approve the request by New Haven Hebrew Day School to extend the time limit to use and occupy temporary classrooms through August 1st, 2022.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion to extend the use and occupancy of temporary classrooms through August 1, 2022. It's been seconded by Commissioner Kaplan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. I know I noticed that we lost Tammy somewhere along the line here. Is that
Yeah.
What'd you do with her?
Can't
Can you
see
hear
her.
me?
Stolen.
All right, you're still there. Okay, good.
Yep, I'm here, but you just can't see me.
All right,
You're
well,
invisible.
That's right. The virus has moved to the bed.
All right, hopefully, that'll carry the day
Yes.
for you, Hershey.
Certainly. We really appreciate it. And yes,
I think it
again,
makes a lot of sense.
yes.
All right.
Thank you.
That actually concludes our agenda. It wasn't much of an agenda for tonight. Nice
Move to adjourn.
Good to see you all.
too.
And if somebody is prepared to make a motion to adjourn our meeting, we can do that.
I move to adjourn again.
Motions to adjourn. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Tom seconds the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Okay.
All right. Stay safe, everybody.
You too, guys.
You too.
Thank you.
Take care,
Thank you
guys.
very much.